Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm doing something a little different today. I'm going to show you guys how I started homeschooling, and then I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the new curriculum for the next school year that's coming up. Watch the whole video so that you can see the sneak peek at the end. I'll try to make a 5-minute video, possibly. We'll see. I don't know. But a couple years ago I wanted to do homeschooling, but I didn't really have the support system around me to do homeschooling. I didn't have people that were on board and they didn't understand it, so I kind of just went the public school route, even though that I didn't agree with a lot of the things that how the public school system would teach, because when they would teach they had to follow a certain curriculum. The curriculum moved really fast in public school, so it was like I felt like the kids weren't really getting it. I feel like when the kids were starting to actually get it, that's when they would move on to the next thing. So I didn't really like that part of public school system and a lot of the things that were going on. So I really wanted to take the kids out to do homeschooling, but nobody really understood it. So I just stuck to them being in public school system. And then the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, nobody had a choice but to start doing school from home. The teachers didn't really know what was going on or what to do, because this was something brand new that they've never done before. So it was really hard on everybody. It was hard on the teachers, and it was just a lot of unnecessary work, and I felt like the kids weren't even learning anything at all. Anytime it's the time to do homeschooling without people saying things about homeschooling and what their thoughts are about it is now, because we're not in school anymore. I went to Abeka and looked into the type of programs that they had, because I remember doing Abeka as a child in school, because I went to a private school and we did Abeka, so it was something that was familiar to me. So I decided to start doing homeschooling with Abeka. That went pretty well in the beginning. It was exciting and it was something new, and it was something new for the kids, so they really loved it. They loved being at the computer and watching the classes, and they loved the books and the colorful materials. But it started to get tedious, and it was a lot. Like, there was a lot of work to do. There was a lot of tests, a lot of quizzes, and the videos were super time consuming. We got to the point where we did accredited Abeka, so it was certain times when you had to turn in all the work and you had to turn in all the tests and the quizzes and everything, where we would rush to get through it so that we could meet those dates. And so the kids weren't really learning anything anymore. They didn't enjoy watching the videos anymore. And it just became more of a chore, and I don't feel like homeschooling should be like that, that it should be fun. Another thing that that kind of bothered me about it was like the history lessons. It's like the old school history lessons, and it's a certain kind of mindset with that. And so it was hard for me to teach or go over the history lessons with the kids, because I didn't really like the stuff that was being taught. And some of that same mindset was trickled down into the rest of the curriculum. So I knew that we needed a change, and I reached out to the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. If you get a membership with them, they give you legal advice, and they'll help you in legal situations that has to do with homeschooling your child. I also have a bunch of resources on there. And so I reached out to them, and they gave me a bunch of resources and websites and free homeschooling curriculums. Because another thing with Abeka is the price point kept going up. There were some things in Abeka that we liked, but there was a lot of things that didn't work for us. So we were looking for something that was free, or really was free or low in price. So HSLDA, they helped us find a bunch of places that were cheaper or free, and we found Easy Peasy Homeschooling, which is ran by a woman that was a missionary, and she would travel all over the place, and she had like, I think 6 kids, and she started compiling lists of all the things that they would do in different grades, and it started becoming a curriculum. And she started sharing it with her friends and family, and they started sharing it with their friends and family, and it became this whole network of moms that shared different curriculum. And it was all on the computer, so it was, you could set it up for your kid with math, literature, They had Bible and all the subjects that Becca had, but it was all the resources were online, like YouTube and different websites that taught the lessons. And they even sold books on Amazon if you wanted the things on paper. So that worked for us for a while. We started having problems with the math section of Easy Peasy Homeschooling. So I went on I went on a homeschooling board. I follow a bunch of them. I follow some of Becca's still, and Easy Peasy Homeschooling, I follow those, and a couple of the homeschooling places like in Georgia and the county that I stay in, I follow a lot of those. So I started telling them that the Easy Peasy math wasn't working for us, and is there another math that other people knew about with the issues that we're having. And we found teaching textbooks, and that's been working for us amazing. Like, we were really struggling, and this teaching textbooks worked amazing, and it's still working for us. So we started doing Easy Peasy Homeschooling and teaching textbooks for math. And with the Easy Peasy Homeschooling, it started getting to that same ideology with history, and it would trickle down into the other assignments, like in reading and stuff. It was these books that I don't really agree with the message when it comes to African Americans, and the history was kind of not what I wanted. We wanted and we needed more for our family. And I always thought that I would be teaching like African American studies and stuff having to do with Africa and the true history of the United States. And we just didn't have any resources for that on there. So the next time that we started school, we did some of the Easy Peasy Homeschooling, but then I started building my own curriculum with workbooks that I found on I think it's called the Christian Bookstore. It's online. I'll leave a link. They offer all types of curriculums and books and workbooks that you could imagine. And I found some things like easy grammar and different things like that. I would just add on workbooks that I knew my kids liked and they enjoyed doing. So I start learning through this process of doing a Becca, Easy Peasy Homeschooling, teaching textbooks, of how to build a curriculum that works for my family. So even though that those things didn't work for us in the end, it taught me how to build a classroom and how to work a curriculum, and while still learning the basics, adding elements that helped us learn better and helped us have fun. Because I feel like when you're teaching, if you're not enjoying the stuff that you're teaching, the kids are going to be frustrated. They're not going to enjoy it. And if they're not enjoying it, they're not going to learn. And I know there's some subjects where it can't be all fun and games and all that. But if the teacher doesn't understand or have a good grasp or really into it, how can you teach that? So I had to find stuff that I enjoyed learning too, because I've been learning a lot of different things and refreshing my memory about stuff I learned in school through this process. And I found that the things that I enjoyed learning about again, I taught it better and they enjoyed learning about it and it became fun. The things that I try to focus on now is reading, writing, and arithmetic. I try to make sure that those are solid curriculums, that those workbooks, that those assignments are solid, and that they will prepare them for testing into college and taking the SATs and moving on and moving up and making sure that they are aligned with what kids their age are doing. That's our foundation for homeschooling. After that, I try to have fun with science and history. Right now, we're learning about like the true history of the United States. We're learning about geography. They know all of their states in all their United States. They've learned all of their countries in Africa. They're learning Europe right now. And I don't think that's something that they even like sit down and really teach in school anymore. So they're getting to learn all these different things at one time. And we're having fun with it. And in science, we have a lot of new science books this year and a lot of experiments and a lot of hands-on things. So science is something that we're going to have a lot of fun with this year. we're learning different languages, and I'm gonna let you see a sneak peek of what our new curriculum is gonna look like now. So all of that was a great learning experience for me, and that's how I started the journey of homeschooling, was going through this process of trying different curriculums and different schools, and I found what finally works for me and my family. And you'll get a sneak peek of this, and in my next video I'm going to actually show you all the books and workbooks and everything that I put together to build a curriculum that works for us. So I hope to see you back here soon. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Bye.